entered Gia's room. You can come on in, and it's very relaxing in here. So tell us kind of what all you do exactly.
So I'm an esthetician, and I'm also a permanent makeup artist. For esthetician side, I do a bunch of different facials, microneedling, anti-aging, and if you just want a relaxing facial, you just do a basic facial and things like that. I do lash lifts and tints. I also do brow laminations. I always say brows are my vibe. You know, like absolutely love brows. I love waxing brows. And then for the permanent makeup, I do brows and lips. Okay. So lip blushing, micro shading, microblading, and powder brows. So, well, microblading is permanent makeup. Okay. So that one, it's kind of considered semi-permanent. As we age and, you know, our brows will start to fade a little bit. Yeah. So it does require like touch-ups and color boosts.
Obviously, I'm a huge eyebrow person too. I'm eyebrow, eyelash, all of that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's talk about facials. Mm-hmm. I, about 18 months ago, had gastric bypass surgery. So, you know, a lot of things have happened with my skin and everything since then. Mm-hmm. And so what's the difference between like a dermaplane facial and an anti-aging facial?
They can kind of go hand in hand. Okay. So you can do a facial that has dermaplaning you can incorporate it into an anti-aging. Okay. But dermaplaning is really good for those who have like vellus hair. I have a little hairy face. I always said I have a little peach fuzz face, and it's great for that. I mean, it's a really high form of exfoliation. Okay. So when you wear makeup, the application goes on very smooth. Your face just feels like a baby's butt. Okay. It's really nice. Nice. And then, you know, you can use serums and everything and just give a nice, like, glowy, hydrated look. Anti-aging, I usually pair, I have this one facial, it's called a honey lemon facial. Mm-hmm. The honey is a mask, but I have a lemon enzyme that goes on beforehand. Okay. Enzymes are a little reactive, but they're really good for your skin. They target like age spots, you know, help with hydration, fine lines and wrinkles and stuff like that. Okay. And then the honey comes through and calms it down. I'll also pair that with LED lighting. Okay. So that right there, that targets aging.
Okay. So like I have this, you know, I'm just going to speak on myself because that's that's the only thing I know. So I have like this dark spot right here that a dermatologist just said was a sunspot, you know, nothing to be concerned about, but it's just ugly to me. So is there anything that I can do about it, or
absolutely
am I stuck with it?
You're not stuck. Chemical peels or microneedling. They're both really good for it. I always say if I was the one on the table, I want to do something that is more beneficial instead of just coming in and getting a basic facial that, you know, you're going to look beautiful after. You're going to feel good and you're going to relax. But microneedling, way to go, because it can target all of that. You can pair it with a little bit of a chemical peel like over it, more so like retinol spot treatment. Okay. And it will help just kind of like peel that little spot right off.
So you don't have to do a peel on your entire face.
You don't have to do an entire peel. I always think that microneedling is the best way to go because it's also promoting collagen and elastin. So you're kind of like reversing effects of aging. Yeah. And, you know, you're targeting all of those little areas, sunspots, and then you're hydrating the skin. Yeah. Like substantially with hyaluronic acid. So, I mean, that's to me best all around facial.
I'll be signing up for this when we're done here. So that's amazing because I've always wondered about that. And, you know, when they told me about this spot and I was like, I'm not believing that I'm stuck with this spot forever. Right. And so it's nice to know that I'm not. Do chemical peels hurt?
They're reactive. So kind of like how I spoke about enzymes, they're a little reactive on the skin, but chemical peels are obviously more reactive than just an enzyme. Right. They have higher percentages. And I mean, they don't hurt, but they tingle.
They tingle.
So as long as it's done correctly, you get a little tingle. And I usually say like 1 to 5. If you get above a 3, we take it off right then and there. Yeah. Now there's a little time where you can leave it on a little bit longer, but that's within the guidelines of the specific peel that you're using.
So I think that to me, it sounds like if you were doing like a tanning salon and you were using a bronzer that had a tingler in it, maybe that's what the sensation would
maybe a little
feel
bit
like little.
kind of. It's literally just stirring, and then afterwards, we have a neutralizer, and that stops everything. So you neutralize the peel afterwards, and then you're good to go.
And how long does it take before you start to see results?
So with chemical peels, we have what you call sloughing or sloughing, however you want to say it. But so your skin will peel.
Yeah.
And it's just a little bit. I mean, others peel more.
Yeah.
And I would say it's probably like that week you get that peeling gone, and then you'll start seeing results.
Okay.
Because you have cellular turnover, your skin is regenerating,
right?
And you'll start seeing that new skin the further it goes on. As we age, it takes longer for cellular turnover to kick in.
Okay.
So it's all depending on the individual when you're going to see those results, but they're almost immediately.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's amazing. So let's talk about the brow tint and lift. So what is that? What is
the lash lift?
Lash lift and tint. Sorry, lash lift and tint. What is that exactly?
So it's like a perm for the lashes.
Okay.
And you lift them, you curl them up, and then you tint them. A lot of our lashes have blonde on the tips or lighter.
Yeah.
So it's not like lash extensions. I can't give you like these huge voluminous lashes,
right?
But it will curl them up to where you don't have to go use a curler. If you don't want to wear mascara, you don't have to.
Okay.
So, and that's when the tint comes in. Not everybody gets tint, but I'd say about 98% of my clients tint them because it makes them look longer and fuller.
So then once you tint them, you don't have to use mascara
at
all or as often?
You don't have to use it at all. I mean, they're black. I tint them black.
Are yours tinted right now?
No.
You're using mascara?
Yeah, I am using mascara. I do have some clients that when you typically come in 6 to 8 weeks, that's how long it lasts.
Okay.
If you are on schedule with it, like if you do it on time every 6 to 8 weeks, I do find that you can start pushing it out further. Instead of coming 6 weeks, you can come 8, 9, 10 weeks. It just depends on your lashes, how heavy they are. And obviously, if you wear mascara, some people like them super dramatic. And you put the mascara on that lift and tint, they are super dramatic.
Okay.
So it really just depends. On
so if you already have like long lashes, then you don't need extensions. You just need a lift.
You just need a lift and tint. Now, unless you have long lashes that are very sparse, you barely have any.
Yeah.
Then extensions would be the route to go because then they could do cluster lashes, instead of just a single. So you can make them look fuller. But the lift and tint is just on your own lashes.
Okay. So that's awesome. All right. And then, so we talked a little bit about the microblading before, but I'm super interested in that. Obviously, I'm all about eyebrows. And anything that I can do to not have to do them every day would be amazing.
Right.
So does microblading hurt? Is it something that you do a local anesthetic on? Do we have to do maintenance on it? All of those things.
Okay. Microblading, it does hurt a little bit. Not going to sugarcoat it. It's in my opinion, it hurts less than a tattoo. I have a lot of clients that have tattoos or that are either just extremely pain sensitive, and they've done very well.
Okay.
I do numb you. I numb for about 20 to 25 minutes beforehand, before I even put the needle.
Is it just the lidocaine?
Yes, it's with lidocaine, and then I have a secondary numbing. So as soon as I get the skin open, depending on what method we're doing, then I can come through with that secondary, which literally works in 90 seconds.
Yep.
You won't feel anything from that point on.
Okay.
So it doesn't hurt like that. I would say from 1 to 10, the pain might be a 3, 4 at max if you're extremely pain sensitive.
Okay.
And how our skin is. If you have thinner skin, you might feel it a little bit more. A little bit older, you might feel it a little bit more.
Right.
But that's it for that. But touch-ups are necessary.
Okay.
So
how often?
It depends on your age and your skin, and if done correctly. Because if somebody has come through and done it too deep, then you're probably not going to need any kind of color boost or touch-up for a very long time. But it's too deep, and it just doesn't do everything you want it to do.
Is there going to be scarring?
If it's done incorrectly by the wrong person that's inexperienced, absolutely, it could cause scarring.
Okay.
But I mean, I've worked on prior work before, and I know a lot of artists don't like to do that. So I will take on work to correct it. And I've only seen 2 people scarred, and it was done extremely deep, and it was probably about 15 years ago.
Okay.
So we had to go through and color correct it. Sometimes when it's done deeper, it can turn gray.
Right.
Little like hints of gray. I recently had one that turned a little pinkish, but that's also based on the pigment that you choose for the skin. You need to make sure it's proper for the undertone. And, you know, it's a chemical reaction that happens within our skin too.
Right.
So sometimes you can't prevent it, but you can always correct it.
Right.
And if you can't correct it with a color change, you can remove it through saline, which I also do that as well.
Wow.
So,
Anything else?
awesome.
Lips.
Lips.
You do lips.
I do.
As well.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I mean, obviously, today I did not wear proper lipstick, as my husband has informed me earlier today. But is it permanent?
It's the same thing as eyebrows. It's semi-permanent.
Okay.
Now our lips, they shed way more than our, you know, our
the rest of our
skin,
face.
right? And so it is. I do find that lips, you can usually get away without having to get a color boost between 2 and 3 years.
Yeah.
The eyebrows, as long as eyebrows are 50% faded, you can do a color boost. But I do recommend 18 months to about 2 years to get in there to get that color boost.
Okay.
The lips, you can definitely get away 2 to 3 years. And that's also depending on colors as well. I have a lot of colors over there. It depends on, you know, your lips, whether you've had to neutralize them. There's a lot of factors that contribute to the longevity of it. But it's also semi-permanent, so it will fade over time.
Okay. I'm very excited for this. I think it's going to be amazing. I want to sign up for microblading and a facial with all of that.
Let's get the works.
Yes, all of the works.
Yes.
So I'm excited for what 2023 holds for you.
Thank you.
You are going to be the first of our small business featured Fridays.
Mm-hmm.
So we're very excited about that.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And we thank you for letting us come in and ask you all of these questions.
Absolutely.
And, you know, get more information about you and your business and all that you
men
do it too.
Absolutely. Yeah. I just recently had a man contact me about lip blushing. And that's because, you know, when I say neutralization, my lips naturally, which you can't see right now because they're a little covered, I have darker borders. They're brown. Mm-hmm. Now you can't go over a brown lip with, you know, just like a pigment that you think is going to, you can't just go over there and say, this is what I want.
Right.
You have to go for what your undertone is.
Right.
So neutralization, you typically neutralize. Sometimes certain reds can do it, but you usually use like a combination with like oranges and whites. And you're like, oh my gosh, this is orange. It's crazy. But it doesn't look like that once applied. And then it completely neutralizes that either brown or purple or bluish tone that we have out of the lips. So men can do it, and some men do it because maybe one lip is darker and one lip is pinker. Okay. And they do microblading as well. So.
And do you do facials on men?
Absolutely.
And
bearded men, all kinds of men. Okay. Yeah.
So you don't have to be clean shaven to get a facial.
You don't. I clean their beard. And I also give them a nice beard massage. Because it takes a little less time to work on a man's face with a beard than it would for me to work on a woman's. Right. So I always give them that little extra. So it's more so for relaxation, but to cleanse their pores and everything. Okay. And then we focus on extractions as well.
Wow. So let's say he and I wanted to have a couples facial. Mm-hmm. Do you have somebody that helps you that we could do a couples facial together, or?
We do currently have another esthetician within here. Mm-hmm. So you wouldn't be in the same room. Okay. You would kind of be in two different spaces. Okay. Yes. So, but we do have, another esthetician that she's very knowledgeable, and she would be able to assist one of you as well.
Okay. All right. This is Raw and Unfiltered with RJ and Nikki signing out.